was all set to drop this video about Jake Paul looking like a blimp and very unhealthy and definitely not fast or strong. And then also one about Rogan training that looks insane to make a point about a 56-year-old man. But then as I was about to put that video out, this story and video of Dana crying in an interview came out. And so I'm going to put this in this video at the end also. So you get those two stories and then you're going to get the Dana breaking down in an interview at the end. And this is a pretty moving story, I got to be honest with you. So buckle up. That's what we're doing today. All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back. We got a couple things we're going to look at right now having to do with the Jake Paul fight and some Joe Rogan footage of him absolutely murking a heavy bag. And I want to make a connecting point there because we're going to watch him hit the heavy bag and we're going to talk about Joe Rogan's age, Joe Rogan's age. And then we can talk about how you guys think that someone would do in a kickboxing match with Joe Rogan and whether the fact that they're 28 years old is going to be a huge deciding factor in the event that they ended up in there with Joe Rogan, who's only 2 years younger than Mike Tyson. So you're going to get to see the footage and then go, yeah, I would pick this person unexperienced with no one in their resume even remotely close to Joe Rogan. And then remember again what's Mike Tyson? I can't remember. And then also, when you look at these pictures of Jake Paul, it's like, dude, this does not look like, I'm not trying to hate on the guy. This doesn't look good. His physique does not look good. Bottom line. Okay. Like I know I did the video where I was like, damn, he looks diesel at 230, but this new, like these are pictures now of him with his shirt off. And I'm like, bro, that's not functional size. Okay. He looks puffy. Okay. He looks real puffy. And there's a big difference between being big and being functional. Okay. Like just sticking a hose inside of a person and just dumping 30 pounds of water into their body. That is not going to help you. It's going to hurt you because you're going to be slower. And that is what he looks like to me. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. We're handshaking it. All right. A gentleman's agreement. You watch my content, you'll subscribe to the channel. It's a nice thing to do, but it's also, live up to your side. I'll live up to mine. I'll keep putting out bomb ass content. All right. So let's start with Jake Paul. Look at this. All right. So this is a picture from December 13th, 2023. I'm not sure exactly which fight this was, but you got Celsius on the rope, which means I'm pretty sure that is the Nate Diaz one. I could be wrong. Don't yell at me. But nonetheless, Jake Paul looks pretty much the same in all of the pictures that I looked at from his fights. He's around the same weight. This is about what he looks like, right? Okay. So if I was going to characterize his physique in these videos and pictures, he looks fit and he looks fast. Okay. He looks fit and he looks fast. Now, he also, we know, is very powerful. He throws a lot of power. If he lands, people get hurt, okay? Now, when people are like, dude, he couldn't even knock out Nate Diaz, I am not in any way comparing Nate Diaz to Mike Tyson, obviously. I am just going to point out, though, that Nate Diaz has notoriously had an absolutely granite and ridiculous chin. So that's not like a huge flex against Jake Paul because Nate Diaz is nearly impossible to knock out, right? But he has knockout power. So look at what he looks like here. He looks fast. He looks athletic. He looks powerful. Okay. So that is what we are comparing to when we look at his new physique, which I am going to argue looks not like that. And looks not, it doesn't look any like slower, I'm sorry. It doesn't look any more powerful. It just looks slower. Okay. Ready? Here's the new Jake Paul physique. Whoops. Not that. Here. Okay. Watch this. Are you telling me that looks like a person who's going to move better? To me, it doesn't. I'm not like, again, you guys know I'm not trying to hate on Jake Paul. I'm just saying like, what, dude? Like, this is not a healthy 230. He's not going to stay at this weight. He looks like Butterbean, dude. Do you know what I mean? Like, he looks like Butterbean. And then check this out. So when you go Jake Paul fat, because obviously Mike Tyson called him fat at the presser. Now he's doing these, dude, which I think is.
Ever since I moved up to the heavyweight division, Tyson Fury been real quiet. Tyson Fury.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where the fuck you at, pussy? Boom.
That's 2022. I don't know if that was I don't know what that was, dude. Okay, here's what I was actually looking for. Like, this is from the other day. He doesn't look cut. He does not look like a healthy 230. Like, you can get yourself to 230. Just take a bunch of Diana Ball and a bunch of other stuff that's going to make you retain water, and you'll get strong, and you'll step on the scale, and you'll be, oh yeah, boy, I'm at 230. Too dirty, son. I'm too dirty. You know what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean that you're going to be a good 230, you know? You got to find your ideal weight. Now, against Mike Tyson, he might have to get that big, but he might have done it too quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like, John Jones took how long to build his body up to where he was going to feel comfortable rocking at a heavyweight weight where he thought he would be able to perform. I mean, like, dude, am I crazy here? Does this look like an athletic Jake Paul? I mean, I have no doubt he'll cut up. Like, this doesn't look good, dude. I'm sorry. This does not look good. Now, if he goes out and he knocks Mike Tyson out, I mean, you know, I'll be like, damn, that was very unexpected. Good for him, dude. That guy really can box. But I don't know, man. This doesn't, I don't see it, man. I don't see this being a good move. Look at his arms compared to his body. Like, this is not a person who's supposed to be 230 fucking pounds. You know what I mean? Like, there's your frame. Like, not everybody is supposed to just be like, oh, I think I'd be a good weight at 230 if you're not someone who's going to be a good weight at 230. Like, his arms don't match his body. This is just, you know what I mean? I don't know, dude. It just doesn't look good to me at all. And so that is what my thought is there. And now we're going to look at Joe Rogan attacking a heavy bag, and we're going to talk about, like, okay, cool. So you think because Joe Rogan's 56 years old, that some 28-year-old that's like a half decent kickboxer is going to do really well against him? Like, this age thing is ridiculous. We don't live in 1950 anymore. We live in 2024. A 56-year-old who's on hormones is a murder machine. Okay? Professional athletes are not allowed to do what Mike Tyson and Joe Rogan are doing. Now, I don't know how they're getting around the testing. I don't know how Jake's doing it. But obviously, they've got something going on with the testing, because obviously Mike Tyson is on hormone replacement. But let's look at Joe Rogan, okay? Because he's 56. He's a 56-year-old man. I mean, Jesus, he doesn't stand a chance.
Joe
All right,
Rogan
let's see.
posted new footage of him hitting the heavy bag to his Instagram. In the caption, he wrote, "I went without kicking for a whole year to deal with a knee injury, and thanks to Ways Too Well, it's now 100% pain-free. The video of me hitting that bag was yesterday, and in the past, if I did that, the next day my knee would be sore. But today I feel absolutely perfect. That bag is 130 pounds, and the amount of torque generated by kicking full blast is just insane."
Dude, and the amount of torque he generates kicking that bag is insane. And Ways to Well, that's local, dude. People actually hit me up about that because I get hurt all the time now, dude. I'm sorry, I'll talk about that in a second. I'll show you guys him kicking the bag. But man, I got hurt today, dude. I got hurt today. Someone I was drilling with, just like this weird armbar position. Just literally all that happened, they were getting off of me. Like, they had already done the drill, and just getting off of me, they sat on my floating rib weird. And it's like, oh my God, dude, it hurts so bad. Oh. Dude. Oh.
Joaquin Buckley commented, "Lost episode on
Listen. You don't want it with that guy, dude. 56 years old. You think someone's just going to walk in there and just mash Rogan? He's going to fucking destroy people, dude. Let's watch that again.
Generated by kicking full blast is just insane."
Oh. That's not even his best kick either. Like, his best kick is that spinning back kick. But for comparison, let's look at Jesse on Fire kicking the bag. This is better. This is better, dude. This is better. But you don't want to eat either of them, do ya? Do ya? Anyway, so my point, though, is Joe Rogan would whip the living fuck out of 99.9% of 28-year-old kickboxers, and that's just what it is. Especially ones that have only been doing it for a handful of years. Now, again, I'm not trying to hate on Jake Paul. I'm just saying he looks enormous compared to how he should look. He is fighting someone who is the literal greatest heavyweight of all time in his prime, who still looks incredible. You're looking at Joe Rogan. Does Joe Rogan look like an easy walkover fight for people? No. Do you think that Joe Rogan, if he gets touched, is going to get knocked out? No. So I just don't understand how everyone is handicapping this fight the way that they are. And by the way, my kick, it's obvious. His is obviously better. It's a fucking joke, okay? Anyway, so let's talk about something else now. All right, so I want to do this story because we just did the thing about Dana White not wanting to share his feelings, and man, my comment section was filled with babies. I will call you guys babies if you were one of the ones that are in there. You don't know what you mean. Oh, he's just a big grown baby that doesn't want to pretend like he has to be. I was like, shut up. No one's saying you don't have emotions. The point was, you do what you have to do to get work done. And if crying about it doesn't help anything, then why do it? I got comments like, oh, I dare you to go tell like one of your operator friends that therapy is for pussies. I was like, I didn't say that no one should go to therapy. I also didn't say that people who come home with PTSD shouldn't go get help. I said people who cry baby about their feelings in order to get sympathy, it's not helpful. So if you don't think it's going to help, why talk about it? Anyway, people broke my balls about that. I will stand by every single word that I said. And in this one, you know, Dana breaks down in this interview. And I mean, obviously, if people are going to judge opinions based on a single video with no context, then they can make up their mind about whatever. But I've been crystal clear about this particular topic. And here's exactly what my example always is. If you're a person who's seen the movie Rudy, okay, and you don't tear up at the end of that movie when he sacks the quarterback, that makes you a complete pussy. I'm going to say that again. If you don't cry at the end of Rudy, you're a pussy, okay? So we're not like Neanderthals. We're talking about get work done. It doesn't mean we have no heart and, you know, can get emotional about people coming to a, what's like the most well-earned, satisfying ending to a story ever, or in the case of Dana right here, an even more meaningful reason to cry on camera talking about something. So I want to go through this, and then we're going to talk a lot more about it.
White gets emotional while telling a heartwarming story. The UFC president recently appeared on the In Search of Excellence podcast by Randall Kaplan, where he told a heartwarming story about how he saved a girl's life and got choked up while doing it.
That had posted something that he had just come back from Thailand, and he was training Muay Thai over there with this legendary coach. And his daughter was dying because she needed some type of heart surgery, and she was going to die in the next several days if she didn't get the money. And it was going to be $50,000. And the guy was like, Dana White, you need to put this money up right now and donate it to her. You bet this much playing blackjack, blah, 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 and basically coming at me like that. And people on the thing were going, whoa, he can do whatever he wants with his money. You know, why do you expect it? But this is the way I talk. This guy was talking to me the way that I talk, and he isn't wrong. I was like, no, this dude's absolutely right. He's not wrong, he's fucking right. I'm supposed to do this. It was fucking weird, whatever the reason was. So I end up reaching out, we find out if it's real. It's real. And I send the $50,000 over. When you go into their gym, there's this massive picture of me in there, and then there's a big picture of me over her bed, like I'm her guardian angel. And I pay for her schooling, and I pay for all of her medical stuff, and she's like, yeah. Anyway, I don't like talking about a lot of this stuff, but I'm in a position that I'm very lucky that I can help other people, and I'm not one of these guys that likes walking out with a big check and doing all that bullshit. I do stuff because I should do it, and I do stuff because I want to do it. I don't do it because I want to be recognized doing it. But I don't like talking about it.
Dude. As I would imagine you could guess, that story got me pretty good, dude. Got me pretty good. I like just thinking about it from both sides. Obviously, if you're a consistent viewer of this channel, you already know I have 3 daughters, and Dana is someone who I relate to in basically every single personality trait there is. He's obviously significantly more successful than I am. However, from a just an outside in, and I'm exceptional at reading people, me and that guy have a lot in common, dude. An awful lot in common, and I have nothing but respect for him. Every single time that I get to see his character checked, I validate that I'm right about what he is. And like, again, this story hits on a lot of levels. I try to imagine what that would feel like. One of my daughters needing, like, fuck, I'm not gonna be able to talk about this, I don't think. If she was gonna die and there was something that there was a way to save her and I couldn't provide it, you know, like there's an operation that'll save her life, but it requires $50K and I don't have $50K. I don't know how I would get through that. I don't know how I would get through that. Whatever a father does to get that money, I don't give a shit what it is, you know, minus like killing other people's kids or something. But like there is not a story you could tell me or a crime a person could commit that doesn't, you know, as long as it doesn't victimize children, where I'm going to be like, no, that was the wrong thing to do. You just can't understand. You can't understand if you don't have kids. Like you can't understand if you don't have kids. There's no way for me to try to describe. If you don't have kids, I don't care. And you don't want to be honest with you? If you don't have your own kids, you know, and I'm not trying to be a dick to people who like adopt. Actually, I don't know about adopted. That's different. But like, you know, married this girl and, you know what, actually, I'm just going to stop with this talk track because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I haven't married into somebody's kids. The only reason I even brought that up is because of that stupid Wes Watson shit that I saw the other day where he's on stage. This is like mega viral now. Tom DeBlas called him out about it on Instagram, where he's like, for me, success is across the board. If a dude's not ripped, if he's not jacked, if he's not in a baller ass car, if he doesn't have a fine bitch on his side, if he doesn't have money, whatever. And like this dude that's just like this regular guy who's just a very successful dude was like, yeah, I prioritize my family, my whatever. And Wes started getting in his face about it. And the guy was like, do you even have children? You know? And to me, that's like the biggest own ever, you know, because Wes is like, you think that you're somebody that your kids would be proud of? You're not even ripped. And he's like, do you even have kids? And Wes like, yeah, I do. And I'm like, I don't know for sure, but everyone was like, dude, his girl has kids. And I was just thinking about that in comparison to like, it's your daughter. She's going to die if you don't get 50K. Like, depends on what kind of world you live in, how much money 50K is. Because obviously, like Dana said, to him, 50K is a hand of blackjack, which is amazing for him. But to a lot of people, 50K is an absolutely unattainable number. Impossible to put hands on. Absent a miracle. And the guy threw a fucking Hail Mary, you know? Like, he threw a Hail Mary and Dana saw it. And that's the thing is, like, I understand why people were like, why are you yelling at Dana? And the thing is like, I could see that both ways. I could see him just like on his absolute last leg, Hail Mary pass. Maybe Dana will see this, you know, and he's mad. If it comes off that he's mad because Dana has, it's that easy for Dana to put his hands on 50K. And for this guy, it's impossible. Like, it's impossible. You know what I mean? Like, in that situation, if some team of rich gay guys came in and they're like, we'll give you the 50K, but you have to blow me and all my friends. The guy's doing it. Bottom line, you're fucking doing it. If you don't do it, I mean, listen, you know, like, if we're going to get into like some like, this is obviously a hypothetical, idiotic, never going to happen situation, but I'm just saying, like, if someone's all, yeah, I'd pretend to do it, then I'd kill them and take their money. Okay, fucking whatever. I'm saying if there's no other way to get it, and you won't do that to save your daughter's life, you know, my point is only like, you fucking do whatever you have to do. And so if you look at someone who has it that easy and you're like, this motherfucker could just throw this down on a fucking hand of blackjack and I can't touch it to save my daughter's life. And Dana's the kind of dude that saw it and he spoke his language to him. And also Dana has kids. And Dana sent the money, confirmed that it was real and sent the money. And now he knows the girl and he takes care of her schooling and all that. Like, there's just nothing you could possibly ever spend your money on that will make you feel better than that. Nothing. I've seen this talked about a bunch by a lot of different people in like books that I've read. And I'll tell you one in particular where like, it seems like people who have had a wild amount of success in a certain like sector that keeps them a little bit sheltered and they have a bunch of fame. And then they're like, in their late 40s or early 50s, whatever. And they've really had to like, kind of like self evaluate and then just kind of think about life in general because they can't understand why they have everything they've ever wanted and they're not happy. Okay. Like, so the book I'm actually referencing right this second is Andre Agassi's book. So Andre Agassi marries Steffi Graf. I don't know, depends on how old you guys are, if you know who those guys are, but they were like, Andre Agassi was my fucking tennis hero growing up. Like he's, he was a tennis player. He was amazing. I played tennis from like, I don't know, 4 until it's irrelevant. He was my guy. And I read his book and he hated tennis. And he always talks about how he hated fucking tennis, but he was all in. Like he was one of those kids that didn't go to school. All he did was do tennis from when he was a kid. He was going pro or nothing. Steffi Graf was the same. That's his wife. She was number 1 in the world. He was usually like 1 or number 2 most of the time. And, but they were miserable. Their whole lives, they were miserable. And by the end of the book, he said he figured out, he's like, it was always the simplest thing. It's just about just helping people. He's like, that's it. It's the simplest thing in the world. He's like, there's not an amount of cars that I could buy that would make me happy. There's not an amount of houses I could buy. I used to buy houses. He's like, I would remodel them thinking like, oh, if I get this kitchen or if I get, add this pool, that'll make me happy. If I do this, it'll do that. And it's like, and he's like, and then we started a charity and I actually started genuinely helping people. He's like, man, this is what it was all along. All along, it was just this. He's got money to burn his whole life. And all it was just using it to help people. Or, it doesn't even need to be money. Just helping people is what made him happy. And I think the reason Dana is so successful, in what he does is because he's so good at reading people and understanding people and then knowing how to lean here or get, or like take care of people here, lean here where he has to. The only way that you can really do that is if you're an incredibly empathetic person underneath, and like you understand people. And so I guarantee you that he saw this exactly like I do thinking about it, where like just imagining being in that father's position and not being able to help to where he's like, I'm supposed to do this. And, fuck, man. I can't even properly commend him for that because I just try to imagine if that were me, the level of gratitude I would feel if someone did that for me. Like there'd never be anything they could ask for that I would say no to ever. Like nothing. I talked about this a long time ago on my old channel that I had to delete when there was the Uvalde shooting. I probably shouldn't even talk about this, but the thought of those kids in those classrooms and the last thought that they're ever thinking is like, my dad's going to come get me. And then like the very last thought in their little brain is he's not coming. Like it'd be just like that, except in slow motion where you're having to go through it in slow motion. It's, not in hindsight, not you find out what happened. And the last thing that your kid thought to themselves was, I thought my dad was going to come get me and he's not. Like, that's the last thought they had in their little life, dude. I thought my dad would always be able to come rescue me. He's not coming. So it would be like a slow motion version of that. So kudos to Dana. What a great Hail Mary from that dad, man. Anyway, that's it.